Joining us now is football coach Bob Stoops here on 105.3 The Fan as the Arlington Renegades, currently second in the South at 3-2 in the XFL. They take on San Antonio Sunday at 2 o'clock. And a good afternoon, sir. How the heck are you?
I'm doing great. Good to be with you today.
It's always good to catch up with you and talk some ball, Coach. How's the season been going? Are you happy with how the guys are playing?
Oh, I'm happy to be 3-2. Hopefully, we could keep getting better here on the back half of the season. Just halfway through it, and feel like we are. We're starting to catch a little more rhythm offensively, and that's going to help us.
One thing watching the games I notice, and they're doing a heck of a job covering everything and the on-field interviews and the sideline interviews, so much of it appears to be focused on getting players to the NFL level, which I understand because of the tremendous financial windfall. As a coach, is it difficult at all? Is it different at all balancing team and individual goals in the situation you're in right now?
Not really. My guys, they've been awesome to work with every day. I mean, I have not had one issue. So I think they all know if we're all pulling together, you even individually have a better chance of showing up and shining and showing what you can do the more you're – so they all get that. Everybody supports and helps one another, and football is the ultimate team sport. Not like basketball, you just bring the ball down and handle it yourself and launch it up, from wherever. It's a different game, so they all realize that, I think, and so it's really been a good, fun team to work with.
What's been the key to your defensive success, Coach? You guys are super stingy on that side of the ball, especially when it comes to your run defense. I know, obviously, offensively, maybe not the results that you're looking for, but this defense, what's really stood out to you guys?
Yeah, definitely. First, it starts with Jay Hayes and Tim Lewis, our two defensive co-coordinators that really call a great game and have the guys prepared. And then we just got a lot of good players over there that are really showing up. Got a great secondary that's made a ton of interceptions. And then, just at all levels, D-line, linebacker, secondary, there's some really good players in there.
Coach, are you feeling better about the situation at quarterback? I know you've had to kind of shuttle some guys, to and from as far as that. Are you feeling like you're more established with what you're doing in the second half of the season with your quarterbacks?
Well, not yet. I mean, we went into last week, absolutely sharing the 1 and 2, sharing the reps equally with Kyle Sloter and Drew Plitt. We went with Kyle last week, but we're doing the same thing this way. He hasn't separated himself enough from Drew, and Drew, also has done some good things in the 2 games he started. So we're still massaging that. So we may play them both here this week.
Coach, which rule change that the XFL has, whether it's the onside kick alternative or, you got multiple options after touchdowns, out of all these new rules that you've been playing with, which one have you enjoyed the most that you think maybe the NFL or other leagues should really take a look at considering adding?
Yeah, I like both of the ones you mentioned. The extra points are a lot more exciting, and there's a lot more strategy to going for 1 from the 2-yard line, going for 2 points from the 5, or going for 3 points from the 10. You got to admit that's a lot more exciting than kicking an extra point, So, and there's a lot of strategy to it. And I also like the 4th and 15 for, to retain possession of the ball instead of an onside kick. And that's happened a fair amount, and a few teams have been able to get it successfully.
It's Bob Stoops here with you on 105.3 The Fan. Okay, who would be your top pick in the draft this year, Bobby? Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, other, if you're in charge.
I just from what I see from afar, just the overall talent of C.J. Stroud at Ohio State would be mine. Just a little more size and ability to run, a little thicker guy, although probably not much, but just seems to be a little more, more presence with his size. And let's face it, he's been great as well. as well as Bryce Young, but you probably can't go wrong with either one of them.
What has been key for more quarterbacks coming in and having success immediately, like Brock Purdy last year? Is there something evolving in the players or changing in the game that's given them a chance to succeed?
I would say coaching. Certain guys, you get on a good team, surrounded with good players, and you got to, and I'm a big fan of Kyle Shanahan just as a play caller, as a head coach. He puts his guys in great position to succeed, and heck, he did it with three different quarterbacks, I think, last year, and they were still successful. So I think quarterbacks come out more prepared in today's world. I think there's more of the college game when you talk about run-pass options, RPOs, and screens and things. I think there's more of the college game too. So some players are have already done a lot of this, and then you get good coaching with them.
Yeah,
Coach, you've been around so many great quarterbacks. And I was going to ask you, because of what we've seen with Young from Alabama and, Kyler Murray and the shorter quarterback, I know you're just hey, if you could play, you could play. Is that an attitude that we're going to start to see even more now in the NFL? It used to be where you had to be a certain height, certain this, certain that. Are we seeing, because of the college game, that we're going to just continue to see these shorter quarterbacks have more of an opportunity and get drafted higher because of their ability?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of that in today's world, and I think the guy that really put it to waste was Drew Brees. Put all that, quieted down. I mean, I don't even know if he's 6 feet tall. So the bottom line, if you can play, you can play, like you said, and these guys have had success for so many years. It doesn't really matter, what their height is.
Coach Bob Stoops with us here in the GBag Nation on 105.3 The Fan. You got to step in and coach that Alamo Bowl for Oklahoma, and I'm sure a couple of your guys are now going out for the NFL draft. I was wondering if anybody that you coached in that game that you could share a little bit of a scouting report with us, maybe specifically, selfishly, a Marvin Mims, who played in our own backyard at Frisco Lone Star.
Yeah, Marvin's a very explosive guy. From what I saw, I seen that ran a great 40 at the at the combine. So I'm happy for him. He's a great player, great route runner, can adjust to the football and different angles. So he does a great job. So I think he's gonna do really well.
We're seeing all the pro days going on now at a bunch of the different campuses. I think Alabama's having theirs today. Do you have any pro day memories for you? Is that a stressful day as a college coach?
Oh, no. I only, I'd be there for part of it. I don't even know I was there all the time for all of it. You want your guys to do well, but, you're out of it by then. I mean, they're not listening to me. They got personal trainers, and they've got this, that, and the other thing. I'm there to support them and wish them well, but I wouldn't say it's ever stressful by any means. I'm sure it is for the players, but it sure wasn't for me.
I'll tell you what, Coach, it was a pleasure. I've been to a couple of pro days myself at Oklahoma, and I want to say you hang a lot of banners in that facility there in Norman. The players were impressive, but all the banners and the success you had at Oklahoma, that was worth the price of admission to me, to walk into that indoor facility and see all the success you had there.
Well, I got that idea from walking in our basketball practice area and our basketball arena, and I thought, well, they hang banners, why can't we? So then we started hanging them. So those are covered with, there's 7 national championship banners in there. And then just since I was there, and then Lincoln, there's 14 Big 12 championship banners hanging in there as well. So it pretty much covers everything.
You probably know the Red River rivalry more than better than anybody else, and you coached and won a bunch of those things. I was reading, the ADs for both Texas and Oklahoma talking about getting that start time back to the 2:30 from the 11 a.m. Did you have a preference? Is the 2:30 a better start time, you think, for the fans, or being a part of that thing? Do you think it matters when the hell that game's kicked off?
Well, it's definitely better for the fans to be 2:30. They get all that time to eat and get gassed up ahead of the game, you know. So, but as a player and as a coach, I love getting up and going straight there, you know, get some breakfast, stretch, and going straight to the, to the fairgrounds, to the Cotton Bowl, just because I didn't want to have to anticipate it all day. You know, it was. I always liked being able to go get into game mode right away.
Is that still like the game you look forward to the most on your calendar, maybe other than the ones you coach, or is there something else?
Oh, absolutely. It's fantastic. The environment's second to none. And, I had a great time for a long time going up and down that Cotton Bowl. And it was, it's a great environment to compete in and to be involved with, definitely.
Well, thanks again, Coach. Congrats on all your success, and we wish you nothing but the best here in the second half of the season there with the Renegades, man. Give them hell. We'll be pulling for you.
I appreciate it. It's going to be 80 degrees, so hopefully we'll have a lot of fans out to see us in Arlington at Choctaw Stadium at 2 o'clock Sunday. Thank you.